Some will win, some will lose. What are we going to get from the great Leicester City Blues this week? Hey guys, it is Finn here. That is of course FY. And of course, if you don't know, this is one of my other pre-recorded videos. Of course, I'm filming a few videos early because I am going away from the 28th of November till the 7th of December. So I'm making a bunch of videos early. So unfortunately, I will not have my fantasy team in this match week prediction. Of course, that will change once I get back. I will put the fantasy team in once again. But guys, while I'm gone, I want you guys to please put in the comment section what Christmas themed videos you guys believe I should do, because it is that time of year. And I do want to ask you guys, and then of course, when I do those Christmas themed videos, I will put your comment suggestion on screen so that you guys can get that recognition, that credibility for that video idea. And of course, guys, let's jump straight into the Premier League Match Week 14 prediction video. Let's go. First off is Newcastle versus Manchester City. Now, I think it's going to be just an easy walkover for Manchester City. I can't see it going any other way. I mean, sorry, Steve Bruce, but you and your Newcastle team have no chance against Manchester City. I say that Manchester City have lost against Norwich this season, so yeah, it's possible. But I do have to go with Manchester City winning 5-0. You guys didn't see that. I dropped this pencil and I caught it off camera. I am so talented.
No one cares!
Guys, so Manchester City, even though it's away, I think they're going to get a very comfortable 5-0 win. Just as a whole, their team is so much stronger than Newcastle in every aspect of the game. And yeah, it's just going to be one of those dominant Manchester City wins with that 5-0 win. Next up is Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace has that ability to really just nitpick at Burnley and get a very comfortable result. That's why I think they're going to get a 2-0 win away, because Crystal Palace is that kind of team that can really just annoy you and get under your skin. Kind of like that kid class who says that they want to just borrow your pencil once, and then every time they see you, they end up borrowing your pencil without permission. Not cool, Jimmy. Not cool. But yeah, at the end of the day, I can just see Crystal Palace getting a very comfortable win because they are a very fast team in comparison to Burnley. Burnley's more of a physical team, and I can see the pace of Crystal Palace working their way around Burnley. Let's get into the third game. Chelsea versus West Ham. Now, of course, this video is being filmed before Chelsea versus City, and I have to say, either way, no matter what happens to Chelsea in that game, if they lose, I think they're going to want to step up their game, and if they win, they're going to want to continue that momentum. Therefore, I think Chelsea is going to get a very strong win against West Ham. I think it's going to be a 3-1 win to Chelsea. And guys, of course, I ask a video question every video. I don't ask a video every question. That would not make sense. But yeah, question every video. Now, of course, although I asked for that Christmas suggestion thing in the beginning of the video, I want to ask you guys, do you think Tammy Abraham is better than Rashford? Who do you think is better between Abraham and Rashford? Because there's this huge debate on the internet, and I want to see what everyone else around the world thinks. Okay, now of course, just in total, I can see Tammy Abraham becoming one of the top scorers, if not the top scorer, which would be insane for his first season as a proper Premier League striker. Yeah. I can just see Chelsea running away with it because they have so many good elements of the game, yet they can still concede because I think they do need to buy a new defender in the transfer window, which that would be really interesting. Now, of course, before I get into the Liverpool versus Brighton game, I want to ask everyone, because obviously, as I said, I am away and I won't be able to push my videos out on social media to tell everyone that my video is out. So if everyone who watches this video could please just share it with their friends and everyone they know, I would really love and appreciate it to get those views up and hopefully get 300 subscribers by the end of the year. I mean, that would really just be the happiest goal that I could have wished for this channel for this year. But yeah, let's get into the Liverpool versus Brighton game. Now, of course, I think Brighton are just going to be slapped silly by Liverpool, just left, right, and center like a Jason Statham movie. I think they're absolutely going to get crushed. But yeah, I can just see Liverpool dominating. And of course, I don't know when this video is going to be out yet. But I do want to say I think it's going to be before my Ballon d'Or prediction video, because on the 1st of November, make sure you don't miss it, I will be posting my Ballon d'Or prediction video where I guess number 10 to number 1, my top 10 for the Ballon d'Or prediction video. And yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting one, and of course there are lots of Liverpool players in there, that's why I am mentioning it. And because there are so many great Liverpool players at the moment, I can only see them running away with a huge 4-0 victory over Brighton. Tottenham Hotspurs versus Bournemouth. Okay, I know this might sound silly because it's not like I say every video. Do I say this every video? Of course I do. I think this is the week Pochettino gets sacked. sack. I think this is the one where Big Poch could get sacked. But once again, it's such a tricky one because would Spurs ever get rid of Pochettino? Because I don't think they have that financial backing to be able to pay over that, because they're still paying stuff over their stadium, over some stuff over players when it comes to their contracts, and I don't think they can afford to get rid of Poch. But I think if he does bad enough, because let's be honest, no matter how much money they have or what they can afford, I think if Pochettino ends up in the bottom 10 of the Premier League, they don't really have a choice. But I think Spurs are actually going to lose to Bournemouth. I feel it. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win away for Bournemouth, and the reason I say this is because, of course, they still don't have Hugo Lloris back. He's only going to come back like next year sometime, and I can see that kind of pace from Bournemouth really just working their way around that unexperienced Spurs goalkeeper. I can just really see that kind of pace playing a huge role, because we know pace is such a huge factor in the modern game of football. So yeah, big shocker, but I think Bournemouth is going to get the win over Spurs. Southampton versus Watford. Now, of course, Southampton had a huge loss to Leicester City this season, and Watford had a huge loss to Manchester City this season. So, of course, both have had huge losses versus a City team, Leicester City and Manchester City. But yeah, it's going to be a very tricky one. I think Watford's going to get their second win of the season, purely because as a whole, I see Southampton really struggling, where Watford, although they've only won one game this season, as a whole, I still view their team as better. I really find a lot of great individuals there. Decore in the midfield. Of course, look, Troy Deeney hasn't had a good season. One game, it's just not good. One win this season for them at all, and it's very tricky to give Watford any source of a win, but I'm going to give them their second win of the season, and hopefully they do pick up from here and they don't get totally annihilated this season. Wolves versus Sheffield. Now, of course, I would love to give this like a 4-1 to Wolves or something, but I'm going to make it a very close 3-2 to Wolves. I think it's still going to be a Wolves win, but Sheffield have showed some amazing play this season. I think they're going to be one of these shocking teams this Premier League season. I think they're going to be able to score 2 goals, but I think Wolves are still going to be able to really just get over them, over that last little bump in the road, and be able to overtake Sheffield. It could be a 2-2 throughout the game. I feel like it could be like a Sheffield 2-1. They could be leading and Wolves catch up and they end up getting that win. There's a lot of possibilities, but I can see Wolves winning this game because they are home. That is why I'm going for Wolves. Norwich versus Arsenal. Now, this is a tricky one because, as I say over and over, Norwich have potential to do really, really well with their attack at times. And Arsenal, they've lost to Sheffield, they've lost to a bunch of teams, and Arsenal aren't in good form at all this Premier League season, especially with Unai Emery. Good evening. But yeah, I do want to just mention the fact that I think Arsenal are going to get away with the win. They are going to get a 3-1 away win, possibly. They hope so. But yeah, guys, I think they really are missing a creative player in the likes of what they had with Aaron Ramsey in the team. And I think, like Chelsea, they're going to have to buy some new defenders in the transfer window. Second last game is Leicester versus Everton. Wow, as I said in the beginning, how's Leicester City going to do this match week? They just seem to be winning after game after game after game. I'm going to give it a 4-2 to Leicester. I can really see them absolutely dominate the game. It's going to be a goal fest of a game, and it's going to be a super, super exciting game. And wow, Jamie Vardy, I know I mentioned Tammy Abraham earlier, but Jamie Vardy, I think he's going to be the top scorer this season. And wow, talk about a late bloomer. Just before his 30, starting to, wow, hello camera, come back, beep. Yeah, as I mentioned, let's cut that. As I said, Jamie Vardy, once he really got properly into the Premier League with Leicester a few years ago, he was like almost 30. Now he's past 30, and he's really showing himself as one of the best Premier League strikers, and he without a doubt will go down in Leicester City's history. I can see him scoring, I can see Maddison scoring. It's just such a strong team overall. I have to give a 4-2 to Leicester, especially because Everton aren't doing well. And yeah, just like Pochettino, I think Silva could get sacked this match week, because let's be honest, this game, I can only see it going to Leicester, and if Leicester beat Everton, I cannot see in any way, shape or form Everton keeping Marco Silva. I'm sorry, mate. Last game of the Premier League match week is Manchester United versus Villa. Now, this is a game I really wish I could watch and I wasn't away for, but sadly I am away for it. I'm going to say it's going to be a very close game. I know in the previous match week I said Manchester United is going to dominate Sheffield, but I think versus Aston Villa there's a lot more quality in my eyes in Aston Villa, although they are lower down on the table than Sheffield. I think Manchester United is going to get a 2-1 win to Aston Villa. It's going to be a very close game. They're still going to struggle with clean sheets, but I think they will end up winning the game. I feel like through a long period of time it's going to be a 1-1 in the game. United possibly score in the first half, Aston Villa score in the second half, and all the way till like the 70th or whatever minute, then Manchester United are going to get that winning goal, and that's exactly how I feel about the game. Now, of course, guys, as I said, I will be away during this video when it does come out, or pretty much. So, guys, I just want to ask if everyone here could just share it and help me reach 300 subscribers by the end of the year. I would love it so much. And of course, guys, I really do love all of you. Stay awesome, every single one of you. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying your week. This has been Finn, FYNN. Cheers.